Hi guys. I'm going to go live in a minute, but I wanted to just this Tony Ortega guy, and he's talking to a Chris Shelton. They're discussing the fact that there's so many things in the book "Softly as I Leave You" that are just incorrect. Incorrect. Just this book is a pack of lies. Gets a lot of facts wrong, jumbled up. I've been reading quite a lot of it. I've been watching a lot of the reviews, and the whole book is a mess. I actually think it's made Priscilla look pretty silly. You know, she's running around the world doing all these interviews to push the sale of the book, to promote the book, and she keeps changing her story. I actually think in one of the interviews, the Late Late Show, she was pretty drunk. Yeah, you know, she likes the vodka. So I think it isn't all going to plan, is it? You know, what I have noticed is the interviewers seem to always be the same. They so I just want to put some milk in my tea. The interviewers seem to be, they do the same thing, don't they, guys? They don't question her. They just nod their heads, smile, and ask silly questions and agree with everything she says. They don't challenge anything she says. They don't properly question her. They ask the same old questions. Not for a second do they say to her, "Are you lying?" Well, they wouldn't say that, but not for a second do they bring up her wrongdoing towards Lisa Marie, concerning her going against Lisa Marie's wishes after she died, you know, trying to cancel out the amendment stuff, the trust, whatever you want to call it. None of them say, "Oh, were you unfaithful to Elvis? You know, did you write any trashy books about him? Did you do any trashy interviews in the 80s? Or, you know, did you rip Elvis off in the divorce settlements? You know, her treatment of her daughter, you know, did you throw your daughter into Scientology? Did your boyfriend, Michael Edwards, you know, did he abuse your daughter whilst you were with him? And did you turn a blind eye to the abuse, you know, allegedly?" None of the questions, the important questions that that would give the world, you know, because let's face it, when Priscilla does these interviews, millions watch them. Yeah, millions have been brainwashed into believing the iconic marriage of Priscilla and Elvis was perfect until Elvis was unfaithful and took drugs. That's the story, isn't it, guys? Yeah. So many, I would say millions, believe that they were still married at the time of Elvis's death, which is bullshit. She had been unfaithful at least twice. In fact, you know, we can prove it. During the marriage, just after the baby was born, Lisa Marie, she was unfaithful with the dance instructor. So the point I'm trying to say is that the public are brainwashed, you know, the non-Elvis fans that aren't really that interested in looking beneath the surface. They seem to be still in love with this fake fairy tale of Elvis and Priscilla, and everything was perfect until Elvis, you know, mistreated her. She was a poor victim. Priscilla was a poor victim. "Oh no, look what I went through. I was a prisoner in Graceland." Such bullshit, yeah? But unfortunately, the general public believe it. She was groomed and controlled, told how to dress, told how to do her makeup, how to walk, how to do her hair. Every aspect of Priscilla's life was controlled. None of it's true. None of it's true. Priscilla loved doing her own makeup, her own hair. She loved the freedom that Elvis gave her. A car, she could do many different clubs that she was doing, you know, like karate and dancing. The public can't be bothered to look beneath the surface and find out the truth. Because when you get to the truth, that's when we can defend Elvis. That's when we can see the true story, what really happened. Not everything was Elvis's fault, which is what we're all told. The world believed that everything wrong that ever happened to Priscilla Presley was Elvis's fault. The world are completely blinded and blinkered and don't understand the wrongdoing of Priscilla to her own daughter, Lisa Marie. Yeah, obviously we've got some pretty serious allegations at the moment from Bridget Cruz, the auctioneer. still to be proven. But come on, guys. Bridget Cruz has said she can prove everything. She told me herself. So then you've got, you know, what did Lisa Marie go through when she was literally thrown into Scientology, discarded, so that Priscilla could go off and live her life, be a model, be an actress, make money, shag men. Because let's face it, guys, Priscilla liked shagging men. Yeah, many of them, allegedly. This whole show is for entertainment purposes only. But how has Priscilla got away with it? How? Even now with these extreme allegations concerning Lisa Marie, the unplugging of Lisa, you know, the do not resuscitate. She seems to be getting away with it. Every time I watch an interview in any country, you know, as Priscilla goes around the world promoting the book and doing these TV interviews and doing these shows in theatres and different places where she's answering questions, no one says anything. She's treated like Elvis. She is worshipped like Elvis. No one really knows that she was pretty cruel to Elvis. She was pretty greedy with Elvis. She was pretty cruel to her own daughter. The public seem very unaware. We, the fans, know, don't we? Because we care, because we're Elvis fans. If you're a Priscilla fan, and you've been brainwashed by the lies, this book is a fake fairy tale. Is it 1985? This was written. It's Priscilla's version of events, not the truth. It's Priscilla painting herself as a poor victim, trying to win sympathy. We've heard it all before. If anyone watches my channel, we've heard it all before. We have to keep repeating it. We have to hammer home the message so that the world learns the truth that Elvis wasn't the bad guy. Elvis was a victim. Elvis was a good guy. Priscilla was unfaithful first in the marriage. Now, before the marriage, that's a different story. But once the marriage first happened, the first year of the marriage, I think Elvis was faithful. And it was Priscilla who was unfaithful, which she's admitted to. She calls him Mark, page 262 of this book. She admits the affair, and she also admits that she ran off with Mike Stone, the karate champion, who was a married man, married to Frances Stone. She was pregnant, and they had a small child. So Priscilla broke up two families. Frances Stone, Mike Stone's family, the pregnant wife. Priscilla even befriended the pregnant wife, Frances Stone, who forgave her, which is unbelievable. Yeah. Two marriages completely wrecked just because Priscilla wanted to shag the karate champion Mike Stone. But Priscilla is treated like she is a poor, innocent, sweet victim. Get it? Even the whole storyline of the, you know, Cary Grant, this guy walked over to her in the Eagles Club. Isn't that funny? Eagles Club. Whew. That he approached her and she was crying, doing her diary, missing home. And he said, "Oh, do you want to meet Elvis? Do you know who Elvis is?" type thing. Boom. It's probably not true. There's a high chance that it was the other way around and there was a cunning plan from Priscilla and her mum to meet Elvis, to approach Cary Grant and ask him to introduce Priscilla to Elvis. And this is mentioned in a book called Child Bride. So Elvis could have been the victim of a plan, a plot to get to Elvis, the man who had everything, the most famous man in the world, the man who was super rich, that lived in a mansion. There's a possibility that this sweet 14-year-old girl that lived in Germany with her parents had a plan to meet Elvis. There's more to it, guys. Elvis has been very unfairly portrayed in many ways. So this Tony Ortega, this concerning Scientology, which is, you know, many people call it a cult. Priscilla did join Scientology. Something to do with John Travolta. There's some guy called, I can't remember his name now. Spanky. We'll see. We'll play the interview. He basically discusses Scientology. Tony Ortega is into exposing the wrongdoing of Scientology. If you don't know about Scientology, guys, look it up. And he discusses this book and says there's many things in this book that are wrong. All the fact checking wasn't done properly, that Priscilla could be lying. So he's talking to a guy called Chris Shelton. I don't know who he is. I wanted to play this. I was trying to get it on bigger screen, but I can't. I can only find it in this form. So there's an Instagram channel that is called Defending EP, which stands for Elvis Presley, of course. A really, really good Instagram channel. I highly recommend it. Please follow them, whatever. They do great work. I'm always impressed with this Instagram channel that defends Elvis. Yeah, I'd watch it all the time. So I wanted to play this. I think it's about 15 minutes long. I wanted to get this logged onto my laptop, ready to upload to you guys. Then I'm going to go live. Yeah, my live is definitely going to be playing reviews of this book, Softly As I Leave You. We're going to start on chapter 2. We've already done chapter 1. There's a young lady on YouTube. I thought, let's play her reviews. They seem okay. There's a lot of people that are reviewing that book now. So we're going to find different people that review the book, Softly As I Leave You. I think the whole book is trash, a book of lies. I think Priscilla is trying to reinvent history, trying to rewrite history, bullshitting the public, and she's getting away with it. As usual, no one questions Priscilla, and Elvis can't defend himself because he's not here, so she gets away with it. Lisa Marie can't defend herself, so she gets away with it. Even Michael Jackson can't defend. You get it? And even Ginger Alden is not happy with what is being said about her as well by Priscilla. She discredits and belittles Ginger Alden. I personally, where Priscilla has said, the book is all about life after Elvis, I see that the book is her trying to set wrongs to rights from her point of view and just have a go at everyone and reinvent everything to make Priscilla look like she has never done anything wrong ever, and everything bad that has ever happened in her life was everybody else's fault. That's the feeling I get from the book, Softly As I Lied to You. So let's play it, guys, and then we're going to come back and do a live stream and review the book. Here goes, guys. Tony Ortega calls out lies in Priscilla's new book regarding Lisa Marie's Scientology. And then it does say there's a full video on YouTube, Chris Shelton. I've been on there trying to find it, and I can't find that interview. I found the channel, Chris Shelton's channel, but I couldn't find
the errors are so version. Weird. And I know she's 80. I don't care. She's got an entire, do you know how many people must have worked on that book besides just her and her co-writer, editors, proofreaders, lawyers? And yet, and I'm hearing from the Elvis people, the people that really know the Elvis side of it, saying she has a lot of strange errors, and she's completely misremembered some things in some other areas as well. But so now Priscilla was coming out with a memoir, not her first. And so I grabbed a copy and again read it for the Scientology mentions. There's a lot of other stuff in there, obviously, if you're interested in things, but I just wanted to see what she had said about Scientology. And I was just, if Lisa's book surprised me that it seemed so watered down, what surprised me about Priscilla's book is she just gets so many things wrong. I mean, just flat out wrong.
So, guys, part of the reason I'm playing this is because I have been getting a lot of reports that many of the things in this book are incorrect. Yeah. That she's literally lying and changing the facts. And she's getting all her dates wrong, and many things that have happened in the past, she's rewrote them, reinvented them to suit herself. I don't
know if there was no fact checking on this book or, how this book was put together. It's like, for example, when she first talks about how she got into Scientology, she mentioned it was right after Elvis had died. She and Elvis had divorced in 1973. Elvis died in August 77. And then, yeah, right after that, Priscilla got into Scientology. And she said what happened was that, John Travolta, she was searching and her friend was John Travolta. And John Travolta brought her down to the Hollywood Celebrity Center on Franklin, showed her around, showed her the classes, and she decided to give it a try. I read that and I was like, that's not what happened. It's not.
So it's, I've heard John Travolta introduce Lisa Marie to Scientology, but let's Lisa Marie had a bit of a crush on him. She went to see him on the set of Welcome Home Kotter. Some of you may remember that. Lisa Marie used John Travolta as a way to get Lisa Marie interested in Scientology. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I don't know much about Scientology. So now let's listen to how Priscilla was introduced to Scientology.
It could not have happened because the Hollywood Celebrity Center was not on Franklin in 1977. The reason I know that is that I know what really happened. Spanky Taylor had joined the Sea Org in 71. John Travolta joined in 75. She was assigned.
See, I'm learning here, guys. I didn't know when John Travolta joined, so 1975. Okay, that's it. And she was assigned to John Travolta. Let's keep going.
To him. She became his handler, his communicator. I mean, she was completely all over his life and in making sure he stayed in Scientology. And then when Elvis died, Priscilla, even though they've been divorced for 4 years, she was still involved in going through his things, and she found these books of Scientology. Now, see, Elvis was famously a very esoteric reader. He was always into philosophical works, things like that. It's not surprising that he'd have some Scientology stuff, although while he was living, he'd expressed that he really thought Scientologists were too money hungry, didn't want anything to do with them. But it's not surprising that he would have some books.
And I've read this, guys. I've read that Elvis just thought they were just. I think Tony Ortega puts it in a different way, doesn't he? But Elvis just thought that it was just a big scam for a money-making scam. That's I know this. I think I know this. Elvis would not have been happy that Priscilla and his daughter were involved in Scientology.
Priscilla was curious about them, and she did contact Travolta to ask him about them. Spanky said.
So I've always wondered why Priscilla was interested in Scientology, and obviously this little John Travolta story. But he's also just mentioned about Elvis obviously was a very spiritual man as well as a Christian man, and that he would read these unusual books. So is he saying that the Scientology book is one of the books Elvis read, and that's where Priscilla learnt about Scientology? Is that the case? Put it in the comments, guys, because I don't know.
At that point, Travolta sent her down to meet with Priscilla, explain what was in the books, and to see if they couldn't get her into Scientology. Spanky still remembers the restaurant on Highland Avenue where she first met Priscilla in 1977.
So who is Spanky, guys? Put it in the comments. Who is Spanky? Because I'm learning.
And then took her to the Hollywood Celebrity Center, which was on La Brea. It hadn't moved to the Manor yet. Scientology had owned the Manor since 1973, and if you remember, during the Snow White raid in July 77, that was one of the places they searched because the Guardian's office guys were up on the 6th floor, right? So Scientology owned that building, but the Celebrity Center that Yvonne Jench had created was still on La Brea in 1977, and that's where Spanky took Priscilla. And, Spanky left.
So Spanky introduced Priscilla to Scientology. Did she approach Spanky? I need more details, guys.
A couple of years later, but she said she was the one that did all of the work with Priscilla.
Bit of an odd name, isn't it? Spanky. I can see why Priscilla liked him.
When it came to Celebrity Center, it didn't involve John Travolta at all. So it's and it was interesting because 10 years ago when Going Clear came out, at that time I think in 2015, I think there's no doubt Lisa, Priscilla, and Riley were all out of Scientology in 2015.
Okay, just I'm learning. Some of you are into the Scientology thing. Some of you have done a lot of research into Scientology. I haven't. So 2015, they're all out. Yeah? Okay, let's keep going.
It got back to Spanky that Priscilla had seen the movie and had told people that she had very fond memories of Spanky.
What? Who the hell is Spanky? Let's go to Chat GPT. Who is Spanky from Scientology? Let's see what it says, guys. It's frustrating. Right, Sylvia Yvonne Taylor is Spanky. Sylvia Yvonne Taylor is a former member of the Church of Scientology. Sorry, I've still got a bad throat, guys. Who later became a vocal critic of the organization. Right, so she became, basically, she turned against them. Okay? She was born 1953 in San Jose, California, and picked up the nickname Spanky in school at the age 14. It says here she began working for Scientology in Santa Clara Mission and later joined Sea Org, the church internal clergy or elite worker organization, signing a billion-year contract. I think they all do, don't they? Don't they all sign this billion-year contract stuff? She worked at the Hollywood Celebrity Center, the hub for celebrities in Scientology, and claimed to have been assigned as a terminal or handler for John Travolta during his early years. Spanky Taylor has made multiple claims about her experiences in Scientology, many of which have been highlighted in 2015 documentary. So there's a documentary, and it's called Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. Okay. Should we just say, how did Spanky meet Priscilla Presley? Let's see what they say, guys. We're all learning, aren't we? We're learning together. According to Taylor, which is Spanky, yeah, among her ex-husband, Elvis Presley's belongings on Travolta, trusting Taylor as his Scientology liaison, sent Taylor to meet Priscilla Presley and engage with her on the subject. So John Travolta sent me over, and that's how I recruited Priscilla Presley. So so maybe it was John Travolta that started the process of introducing Priscilla Presley to Scientology. Thus, Spanky met Priscilla in a capacity of a recruiter via a connection with John Travolta. Okay? So Spanky's work at the Church Hollywood Celebrity Center, dealing with celebrities. So, one more question. Who did Priscilla Presley first approach to join Scientology? So I think she approached John Travolta and he introduced her to Spanky, I think. What's known from multiple sources, Spanky Taylor. Let's have a look. After Elvis died, Priscilla Presley first approached John Travolta about Scientology. John Travolta, who had been involved in Scientology since the mid-70s, after Welcome Back Kotter, he was very high profile in the Church of Scientology. According to Spanky, who worked as Travolta's Scientology liaison, Priscilla reached out to Travolta because she had found Scientology books amongst Elvis's belongings. So I'm right. Elvis did have, and this is what I think Tony Ortega has just said, Elvis did have Scientology books. That's interesting, guys. Well, you know, Elvis had a very open mind. He looked at all religions, didn't he? He found it very interesting. He loved reading, but he was a Christian man. I would say that he found Scientology a bit odd, a bit money-grabbing. Priscilla reached out to John Travolta because he had found Scientology books among Elvis's belongings and was curious. Priscilla had found some Scientology books. She called John Travolta. John sent me to meet her. John sent me to meet Spanky. Okay, I think that I've learned everything I need to know now. Do you know what, guys? I know we all, all of us grew up loving John Travolta. Yeah. Grease, Saturday Night Fever, all that kind of stuff. He had a brilliant personality, didn't he? Especially back in the 70s and 80s. We remember a lot of his films. But I'm worried, I'm concerned that this lovable person, because Tom Cruise was the same. We all loved Tom Cruise, didn't we? Through the 80s and 90s. These people are actively recruiting people, even children, because Lisa Marie was a child, into Scientology. Don't forget, Lisa Marie stayed in Scientology, and so did her two children, Riley Q and Benjamin. That may have had an effect on them. Of course, it must have had an effect on Priscilla. Yeah, I think Priscilla was very much treated as a VIP member, so I don't think she had to go through all of their different rigorous teachings. I would say that Priscilla was used as a front person to bring in new people. Yeah, a headstone. I will say this, that she was extremely powerful, wasn't she, guys? Priscilla, once Vernon Presley appointed Priscilla as a co-trustee on Elvis's will, on Vernon's will, yeah. Vernon Presley dies in 1979 in the hope that Priscilla will look out for her daughter's interests, Lisa Marie, concerning Gracelands, all the rest of it, yeah. I understand why Vernon made that decision, but I think Elvis would be horrified that Priscilla decided to go down the Scientology road and ended up, because Lisa Marie could be a headstrong teenager, a headstrong child, which, come on, let's face it, we all are. Aren't we all headstrong when we're teenagers or young, or when we're kids? I think he'd be horrified. I've always thought that Priscilla put Lisa Marie into Scientology so to give her freedom, so she could pursue men, career, modeling, acting, making money, business ventures. She loves the spotlight. She loves fame. Yeah. Promoting products. I've always thought that putting Lisa Marie into Scientology was all about freedom for Priscilla. I've always felt that Priscilla puts herself first. And do you know what? Knowing Priscilla's behavior with men, she's got a bit of a history with different men. Yeah, she's pretty man hungry, in my opinion. I bet you she approached John Travolta because she fancied him. Come on, let's face it, guys. John Travolta in the 70s was a bloody good-looking man, a very sexy, good-looking man. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me as if she used the Scientology thing to chat him up. They may have even had an affair. Who knows? I heard she had a one-night stand with Richard Gere. Is that true? So I'm just thinking out loud. It's just an opinion for entertainment purposes, not a fact. We are an entertainment show on YouTube. We are sharing opinions. Let's keep listening, guys.
That's just 10 years ago. I know Priscilla's 80 today. I don't think it's a memory issue. I think that there's some reason that Priscilla has erased Spanky from this story and doesn't want to tell what really happened. That's the first one.
That's interesting to know. So this Taylor woman, Spanky, for some reason, Priscilla does not mention her at all. She does talk about Scientology in the book. She even mentioned Scientology on one of the interviews recently. I think it was in America. She says, oh, yeah, Scientology was actually quite good. It was pretty good, but Lisa wanted to get out. Yeah. Just the fact that the interviewer asked a question about Scientology is very unusual. I have never heard Priscilla questioned about Scientology ever. So it's possible the interviewer was told to ask that question. Is Scientology paying for the lawsuits with Bridget Cruz? I repeat, is it possible Scientology is paying for the lawsuit against Bridget Cruz, even though Priscilla gives the impression that she's left Scientology? Is it possible that Priscilla is still part of Scientology? What do you reckon, guys?
Then she talks about Scientology in general, and I got to tell you, she may claim that she's out, but this is the most...
See, guys, we had a discussion on this. We got the guy, is it Aaron? Is that his name? Aaron? he 100% says Priscilla's out, Priscilla's out, Priscilla's out. I guarantee it. I know it. This is Aaron. He's got what's his channel called? You tell me. Put it in the comments, guys. He's a nice guy. He runs an amazing, anti-Scientology channel. Yeah. But I when I listened to his interview a couple of weeks ago and we reviewed it, yeah, I remember thinking, I don't think she's out. I don't think she may be partially out. I don't think she's all the way out. Aaron was saying she's out 100%. She's fully out. I don't think so. And I said it back then a couple of weeks ago. And here we go. Tony Ortega, who's a very, just so you know who Tony Ortega is, guys. Let's do it on ChatGPT. He's a very respected, very credible source, okay, of information. Who is Tony Ortega? Let's see what it says, yeah? Because I haven't done much about this topic, guys. I probably will. So he is born in 1963. He's obviously in the US. He's an investigative journalist, author, blogger, best known for exposing and documenting Scientology practices and controversies for the over 25 years. Yeah, okay, that's it. After it says here, after leaving the Village Voice, Ortega launched the Underground Bunker. So I'm guessing that's the name of his program. All right. So Spanky was one of his members in his show, but she's, by the looks of it, she's left. Yeah. So it's all about criticism of the Church of Scientology. Yeah. 100% investigative journalism. So the Underground Bunker is the main thing that he does. Okay. It just briefly says here, he published about Elvis and Priscilla and Lisa Marie Presley connection to Scientology. And then it says, would you like me to look into that? I'll just put yes just for a second, just to see what it comes up with. Because I like learning. We're learning together. Team Elvis, innit? Here are some of the most revealing stories from Tony Ortega. We have a Scientology document Priscilla Presley doesn't want us to show you. In this article, Tony Ortega reports that he obtained knowledge report written by Priscilla Presley around the year 2000 that names her daughter Lisa Marie as being out ethics. He explains how the document uses church language, gains cycles of action, and argues that it shows Priscilla using the internal disciplinary system of Scientology. Okay. Elvis Presley and Priscilla have previously unknown grandchild in Florida lawsuit. Okay, we've heard about this, haven't we? The secret grandchild, which allegedly is John Travolta and is it Kirstie Alley? No, not Kirstie Alley. Kelly. Oh, what's her name? His wife, his poor wife that died from cancer, I think. Kelly Preston, I think. She's such a beautiful woman. Unfortunately, she died, which is so heartbreaking. So it says here, previously known grandchild living in Florida, alleged grandchild of Riley Q. Come on, we don't know if any of this is true. I think it was brought up in Bridget Cruz's lawsuit. So it's interesting, guys. You know, ChatGPT is pretty interesting stuff. So it now says Lisa Marie departing, distancing herself from Scientology. I think, you know, yeah, we get the idea, guys. We are going to do some videos on this topic. Let's just hear the rest of this.
Most glowing endorsement of Scientology I have seen in print in many years. Okay.
So I heard, guys, that any celebrity that encourages a celebrity child into Scientology, so John Travolta with Lisa Marie, John Travolta, obviously Priscilla Presley is not a child, but Tom Cruise, who he encourages into the, celebrities, yeah? They get a commission of the money that is paid into Scientology by these celebrity children, that the person who originally introduces them into Scientology gets a commission of every penny they pay into Scientology forever. It's just what I've heard on some of these programs. There's a Scientology channel called Serge Del Mar. Serge Del Mar, look it up. He discusses the wrongdoing to children in Scientology, and he exposes many of these things. Quite an interesting channel, and he does talk about Lisa Marie Presley. So there's a lot of interesting stuff out there if you're interested in this topic.
Is she, boy, she's just picking and choosing with the details, but the details she chose are just, she makes it sound like this is a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Then she talks about how, okay, so, and she brought up Lisa in it. Lisa was, going to the Celebrity Center and narking on, and that's how she met Danny Keough. They were actually married at the Celebrity Center. That marriage only lasted a few years, although Danny always remained in her life. In fact, he was the one that found her when she got sick. But then she...
I mean, even that's interesting that she met Danny Keough, the father of Riley Keough and Benjamin, yeah, in Scientology. I've heard that his grandmother, Danny Keough's grandmother, was a very important person in Scientology, yeah. I'm not really sure how much involvement Danny had with Scientology. I have a feeling he distanced himself from it, yeah. I don't know. I have heard that Riley Keough still has friends in Scientology, which makes sense because she went to school there. She was schooled in Scientology, So I just asked the question, why did Lisa Marie leave Scientology? It says here, Lisa Marie Presley's departure from Scientology was gradual, not a dramatic break at first, but a slow pulling away that became clear around 2012 to 2014. Here, the full story. Right, anyway, so then it goes into some more stuff. Let's have a look. So it says Lisa Marie Presley was introduced to Scientology by her mother when she was a child, around in the 1970s. So Lisa Marie began expressing doubts about Scientology's leadership, especially under David Miscavige. Obviously, he succeeded L. Ron Hubbard. If you're into Scientology, you'll know these names, yeah? I'm not, yeah? Lisa Marie complained privately that Scientology had become controlling and toxic. She also said some of the church were sucking her dry financially and emotionally. That doesn't surprise me. Maybe that's where all of Priscilla's money's gone. One of the biggest questions that is asked of me, guys, is what did Priscilla do with all her money? She has earned so many millions over the last 40, 50 years. Where is it all? She seems to have run out of money. She's 80 years old. She's still running around the world now, trying to make money. Even Bridget Cruz in the lawsuit that's going on, there's a few lawsuits with Priscilla now, is saying that she had to help Priscilla because Priscilla was in deep trouble, had a massive tax bill to pay, and that Bridget Cruz, the auctioneer, who had become friends with Priscilla, was trying to help Priscilla because she was facing serious financial crisis. Yeah, Bridget Cruz feels like she tried to help Priscilla. So the fact that Priscilla turned her back on Bridget Cruz is why Bridget Cruz is so upset with her and is demanding an apology and suing the ass off her. But obviously we know that Priscilla is counter-suing with elder abuse, and there's even more lawsuits being upgraded as we speak, more filings. Yeah. So it's all, and some of the allegations that Bridget has are whoa, shocking. So she says, Lisa Marie complained privately that the Scientology become controlling, toxic. She felt people around her brainwashed or living in a bubble. She also said in the church that the church sucking her dry financially. She hinted at this in interviews. She said she was surrounded by people who were not real and who were using her. So, is, I'm not sure when Lisa Marie moved to England, but is her breaking away from Scientology part of the reason she moved to England? We know about the Barry Siegel and Priscilla stuff where there was serious wrongdoing going on, where Lisa Marie nearly went bankrupt, like literally 100 million alleged, I don't know the actual amount, a massive amount of money just disappeared, was invested badly in American Idol stocks. Yeah. Priscilla and Barry Siegel may have been involved in this. We know that I'm just talking out loud now, but Lisa Marie sued Barry Siegel. I think he tried to counter sue and they settled. There's even something said that Priscilla was involved in all of this wrongdoing against her daughter, behind her daughter's back, and that eventually Lisa Marie forced her mother to sell a house to pay back some of the money. It's also said that Barry Siegel was taking $500,000 a year for wages. Priscilla was taking $900,000 a year for wages out of Lisa Marie's money without even telling her. This is all alleged stuff that I've been told, guys. So it's all, by the sounds of it, Priscilla Presley completely ripped off her daughter, Lisa Marie, and so did Barry Siegel, who was Lisa Marie's manager, who was Priscilla's very close friend. And even after this all went wrong, after the shit hit the fan, Priscilla secretly stayed friends with Barry Siegel. Allegedly, they are still friends now. Allegedly, Barry Siegel brokered the deal to Sofia Coppola to make the film Priscilla and use this book, Elvis and Me, as the storyline. Priscilla wanted this book to be the basis of Sofia Coppola's film Priscilla. We all know that Priscilla film is an absolute disgrace and that Lisa Marie did not want it made. Lisa Marie had been emailing Sofia Coppola, very upset about this film, did not want her mother Priscilla to be involved with the making of that film, and even threatened to sue Lisa Marie, even threatened to sue her own mother. Yeah, all of it is a mess, guys.
Married Michael Jackson in 1996. And of course, we were all kind of like, what's going on here? I can tell you that when I spoke to Lisa in 2015, she was adamant. She loved him. She said, Tony, I loved him. I know what people don't understand, but I loved that man. And she said it was not.
Yeah, so this is the other thing, Priscilla, that she's trying to say in the book. That, you can tell Priscilla did not like Michael Jackson. Yeah. She tries to say that Michael Jackson just wanted an Elvis baby. I'm not convinced. She tries to say that Michael Jackson was with Lisa for what's the word that she used? Just for the for being a Presley, for the promotion of himself. Yeah. But come on, guys. Michael Jackson was one of the most famous, if not the most famous man on the planet. So Michael Jackson didn't need to connect with Lisa Marie to become famous, to get attention. There's allegations it was to distract people from the child molestation allegations. Yeah. So, there's more to it. Okay. But from what I've learned, they actually were in love. And it was Priscilla and Scientology that encouraged Lisa Marie to leave Michael Jackson, to have a divorce from Michael Jackson. And even after the divorce, Lisa Marie stayed friends with Michael Jackson. So there was a genuine time of their marriage. I think it's in Lisa's book. She says it was one of the happiest times of her life. Even Riley Keough speaks very fondly of the marriage between Lisa and Michael Jackson, and being at Neverlands, etc. She has very happy memories of Michael Jackson and her mum Lisa. So there's so much more to it, guys.
Her idea to divorce him. She told me that David Miscavige was pressuring her to divorce Michael Jackson through an attorney, John P. Cole, who told her that when a couple divorces, whoever files first in court has a slight advantage. And they believed Michael was about to file. You need to beat him to it. And this is Lisa explaining this to me. She said he was constantly bugging me, and she finally said okay. And it was the divorce was filed. But she said I really didn't want to do that. Now in Priscilla's And now in the memoir that Riley edited, she did say, Riley, in the section that Riley wrote, that she did say that her mother said somebody had told her it would be advantageous to file before Michael. But she just erased the name. She pulled back the name that it was John P. Cole. Now, I did speak to John P. Cole about this. He denies it. He said that, look, both Lisa and Michael had plenty of money. There was nothing to fight over. So why would I pressure her? So he denies that that happened. But I know that that's what Lisa told me. But in Priscilla's version, it's even more different than what Riley put out. In Priscilla's version, it was all Lisa's idea to divorce the guy. So I don't know. Even Riley's watered down version agrees with what Lisa told me, but Priscilla's telling a different story. The errors are so weird, and I don't. Yeah, I know she's 80. I don't care. She's got an entire. Do you know how many people must have worked on that book besides just her and her co-writer, editors, proofreaders, lawyers? And yet, and I'm hearing from the Elvis people, the people that really know the Elvis side of it, saying she has a lot of strange errors, and she's completely misremembered some things in some other areas as well. But so now Priscilla was coming out with a memoir, not her first.
Okay, well it suddenly ended then, but it's a very interesting topic. It is something that we all need to learn a lot more about. We got so much to do, guys. I don't know where every day is like, oh, where do we start? There's so many different things. We will start learning about Scientology, what Lisa Marie went through at Scientology. We may discuss Benjamin and Riley, their time there as well, but pretty fascinating. The main point of me playing this interview was to show that Priscilla is lying, changing the truth, reinventing the truth. Don't trust the words she says. Okay, guys, gotta go. We'll be back with a live stream in a minute. We are going to discuss the book. We're going to look at some reviews off some YouTube channels, and we've done chapter 1. We're going to do chapter 2. So that will be live. Okay, guys. So I will upload this tonight, later on tonight, to you guys. I'll upload it live so we can join on the comments, okay? And we will be coming back to do some more Scientology stuff because it is fascinating. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Defending Elvis, TCB.